Let's talk about the pasty billionaire, yes again, and Tesla. I really get sick of talking about him because as an AuDHD person, there's just so much that rings alarm bells, and yet people still love this man, and it boggles my mind. I want to talk about Tesla and why I'm pretty sure that it's not actually vandalism. Or if it isn't us. First off, if you're talking radical leftists, you're talking about paint on a fur coat. You're talking about people following those ugly ass Cybertrucks and displaying messages on the back of them. I think they call them Cybertruck hunters. It's an account on the TikTok. And you know what? You might even go as far as to, I don't know, take care of some charging stations. But one thing about this administration is that they have this crazy thing called timing wrong. Case in point, Dumpy Diapers announces that he wants us to get into crypto. But just before he made that announcement, somebody bought 200 million shares into the same coins he was going to announce. And this happened just 2 days after he failed to ambush our blue and yellow family in the White House, where people were concerned about suits. So on March 11th, all of a sudden, during the hurry, 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 and buy on the White House lawn, where Humpty Dumpty became the, but wait, there's more, car salesman for Tesla, there were no Teslas set on fire in America other than this one. So this lady right here, Lucy Grace Nelson, she is the only one on, by the way, this is January 29? Yeah. So she's the only one who actually set fire to a Tesla. And she probably is one of us because in true fashion, there's the paint on the coat. We like to call it out. So there's that. And so, again, she did some small fires, right? Just some small fires. That was her. But let me prove it to you. We have not set, not the left, have not set any Teslas on fire before that announcement. So again, this announcement was March 11th. See him? Buy one, buy one. March 11th. Pay attention to the dates. All right, so there she is with January 29th. Okay, so y'all see this, January 29th to February 11th. Next we have March 3rd, March 4th, and March 6th. March 3rd, graffiti. No Musk. We call it out. March 4th, 7 Tesla charging stations. We try to get them all. We're like Ash. And of course, this was in Boston because right around this time, Ice Ice Baby was talking about going there. March 5th. So 7 stations. So you see 1, 2, 3 in a row. We got them all. Except for that last one probably. And whatever's on the side. But in other words, we're not hop, skip, jumping. Okay? We get as many as we possibly can. Because if we're going to be radical, we're going to be radical. Now, March 6th, you did have somebody fire 7 shots, right, at a dealership. And it only damaged 3 cars, shadowing windows. Only 3. We're not going to harp on that little point. But look at the choice. The choice was a gun. I'm not saying it could not happen, but it's not likely a left. Because there's one particular set who loves their guns. And again, we're talking about Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon tends to be artists and the Rainbow Coalition that y'all are trying to get rid of. I'm trying to get used to this green screen thing, y'all. But if you see March 7th, it is where we finally get the words arson, right? But it's done at the same dealership that the first lady did it, the one who did set some fires. So now we're right back to that same exact dealership in Colorado. Okay, maybe it was her. Maybe she's slightly off. Or maybe, just maybe, maybe somebody else got pissed enough to do it. Who knows? But chances are, it's really hard to say it's the left unless you know this. Because let's back up a second. Because you see this guy on March 6th? You know what he did? He put stickers on a car. Stickers. Okay? And now we're using the strong language called vandalizing. And this March 8th thing is a protest. A protest. 350 protesters. No one set fire to anything. And this was in NYC. Now, if you look here, this guy reshared a tweet that was on March 10th, and it was done in Seattle. And this person is blaming a Democrat. I don't know how they're blaming one, because by March 10th, we weren't the only ones pissed. We weren't the only ones pissed. Y'all lost a lot of support on the right. So we weren't the only ones pissed. But y'all, there's something funny about this here. Let's look at what this fire had going on with it. So I want you to realize that in Seattle, there were 4 Cybertrucks that were set on fire. It's really important that we talk about which ones were set on fire. 4 Cybertrucks, right? And then this person, as someone is being interviewed, is heard again making the suggestion of something without any facts whatsoever. It says, it's unclear how this all started, but again, everything that's happening in America right now with anti-Elon Musk hate, all the protests, incidents of vandalism, it appears to be arson. Again, we're not really destroying cars here. That was overseas. In America, people have been terrified of tripping the trigger of Humpty Dumpty calling ninja law. So people weren't doing this other than Miss Nelson, right? So notice 4 Cybertrucks. 4 Cybertrucks. Pay attention to this. Then 6 days ago, today's what, 25th or something? 24th? I don't know when I just screenshot this thing. So that's going to put us around the 18th or so, 18th or 17th. We have 2 Cybertrucks. Again, specifically Cybertrucks. These people are at Tesla service centers. I know it's not just Cybertrucks there. This is why this is important. On the 20th, all Cybertrucks got recalled. All Cybertrucks got recalled. And you're not going to tell me that he didn't have a heads up, because it was said last Thursday on the 20th that Tesla will fix it because it's made with the wrong glue. That means they knew before the 20th that all Cybertrucks would be recalled. Oh, and people have to wait until May, by the way, to get that fixed. Now, what we not going to do is act like Teslas don't catch fire by themselves. This says 2023. And in 2023, it is said that this is not an EV problem. Look down here. It's not a battery problem. This is a Tesla problem. And you were advised not to buy this dumb shit. This article was 3 years ago. Again, Tesla caught fire. 2 years ago, Tesla suspected of catching fire. But wait, there's more. There's an entire website dedicated to this. And this one was 2024. All right, my lovelies. So apparently, I hit the mute button on here. So, what am I talking about here? I am talking about the fact that there are two U.S. departments that reimburse people for domestic terrorism. One is for people itself, and that is going to be, girl, hurry up. That is going to be the Office of, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, when I move out the way, I will say it. But the reason why Humpty Dumpty is using words like vandalism and has labeled it as domestic terrorism and has put the FBI to investigate it as such with a whole ass agency is because there's reimbursement for these cars. Now, we've already shown that these Cybertrucks are being recalled back. But here's the thing. This guy is Mr. Empathy is a weakness. And here he's doing his empathy tour talking about, I thought the left, the Democrats were supposed to be the party of empathy and caring, and yet they're burning down cars. Now, the rest of the quote, though, is he says, I don't know why they're doing this to me because I haven't physically hurt anyone. And he's right. He hasn't physically hurt anyone, but he has financially, mentally, emotionally, any other leads that are there. And I will say spiritually too, because he has helped cause a spiritual crisis. Because people are like, how in the world could God let this happen? How could the evil actually win? Right? And I just think it's really interesting. And so, if you paid attention to the dates, March 11th, we're talking about this is cyber crime, whatever, cyber terrorism, not cyber terrorism, this is domestic terrorism. And then March like 16, 17, 18, all of a sudden things are getting caught on fire. Now, what was really interesting about this picture is that they showed what a controlled burn actually looks like. And this was part of my point too, is that if you're going to be a vandal, you're not going to choose one or two cars. So, as you just saw, there was the law for helping victims of terrorism, and this is the TRIA Act here, which is where it replaces property. For acts of terrorism, certified acts of terrorism, which is what he did, and that includes the domestic nature. Humpty Dumpty was very, very strong in saying that this was domestic terrorism. So when I say America is being played, America is getting played. America is getting very, very played. And people are starting to understand that. So the fact that the FBI, headed up by loyalists to Humpty Dumpty, is launching a task force, a new task force to investigate attacks targeting the pasty billionaire stuff. A task force. And are labeling it domestic terrorism. Follow the effing money. We're going to be footing the bill for what they're doing. I am not the only one who has thought this at 3 a.m. with my ADHD thoughts a few days ago. Someone took the time to write out a very good case for the fact that Pasty Billionaire is responsible. He and Humpty Dumpty are taking America to the bank. They talk about the recall and also the fact that even Pasty Billionaire's own brother has dumped Tesla stocks, and the fact that they lost like 40%. Y'all keep going, by the way. We can do better. But the fact that he's lost money and he's close to being margin called or whatever it is, right? He doesn't have real cash. He only has stocks. So they laid it out like this with the Tesla recall, because that's all the cars off the market. That means you can't sell any either. And you have to fix cars in May. I'm so surprised that department, the SEC, is still around. I know it's not just a department, but I am so surprised. But at the same time, whoever said, let me go ahead and do this, watch your back. Because y'all, a judge, Miss Aber, Justice Aber, was found dead at the age of 43. Who is she? Just a judge that was about to make them pay. A judge who just so happens to handle cases that involved organized crime and national security, who was sworn in by Biden and had indictment against Russian nationals for operating, y'all read it with me, illicit cryptocurrency exchanges. War crime charges against Russian soldiers for actions in Ukraine. Israeli retaliation leak. And because she read the writing on the wall, she resigned on January 20th, 2025. Y'all know what happened that day. They have red sticky juice on their hands. How do you get a brain bleed? 3 of these 4,000 people held in a facility, Chrome Detention Center, that was meant for just 500 people, where they're being rationed food and they're being rationed drink, and people are dehydrated, they're getting sick, they're sleeping on the cement floor. They have red sticky juice on their hands. And I'm only talking like a child because, one, if you are still a believer and you made it this far, I have to put it in terms that you can understand. And 2, I have to put it in terms, hopefully, because I don't know, I talked a little bit strong, that will let people see this video. The next part to their case is that stockholders are telling him that he needs to step down. And insurance companies, again, are not wanting to do this. And now he's taking the empathy tour. And like I said, it just makes sense that people are taking it out on Tesla because they can't get to him. But I really need y'all to pay attention to which Teslas. It's just the Cybertruck for the most part. And to immediately demonize and label whoever is doing this immediately as radical left, as a terrorist, and as a vandal tells you where they were going. And it also tells you that they don't care if that's even true. My spidey senses, my pattern recognition, everything is tingling. And I know that this isn't us. It's them. Oh, wait, before we sign off, don't miss this other part of their argument was about the Chinese competition called BID, B-Y-D. I forgot what it stands for. But they are very serious competition. And I don't know if y'all were paying attention, but on Friday, Pasty Billionaire was going to be part of a confidential meeting that was going to talk about going to chess with China. Pasty Billionaire, allegedly, is owned by 2 of the most powerful forces who have a personal vendetta against America. And you know what? So is Humpty Dumpty. All right, y'all. Do I have an answer of what you can do? I keep telling you, every single video, I got T video, every single video, I tell you what you can do. And it requires you to get loud. Y'all, we can't go into flight mode. Get loud. Get loud. Attend the rallies of AOC and Bernie. Let them see the bigly numbers. Get loud. Um, if you have a trip coming up overseas and you've said some things that were not loyalist type of things, get you a paid phone, or as they say, a burner phone. But get loud. They don't like pushback for some crazy ass reason. They think people actually like them. Get loud. Because the truth is, if people actually like them, they would not need to pay for people to show up and hold signs in support of them. Get louder. You don't have to go and trash their cars. That's not necessary. Anytime you see them, help them revert back to their childhoods where they could not coerce people into liking them. Get loud. Voice your displeasure. And y'all, I know that some of the former GOP, some of the ones are calling rhinos, when really, like I said, there are a couple of different parties over there. It would be Trumpsters and Republicans and opportunists. But some of them are legit afraid. And I can understand. And some of them are compromised. That I can't understand, but okay. So they're not going to say anything unless you let them know that they work for you. And not only do they work for you, they're about to not work for you again. What else can be done? Wisconsin. Girl, the psychics, they're saying that your girl is going to lose and that the boy they want in, I can't remember names right now, in your Supreme Court contest, the one that illegally, Pasty Billionaire is throwing money behind, illegally, he's paying people to go and say that they're going to support that man. Do better. Bring a friend. Make sure you carpool together. That way you have support with you. Y'all go and turn out. In Florida, there are 2 districts that are coming up on April 1st. That's right around the corner. You do the same thing. Carpool. Get loud inside of the booth. Cast your ballots and make sure that it has an exclamation point.